Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the lightweight bout between Drew Dober versus Brad Riddell. And how I see this one right here is two guys with solid striking. I definitely respect Brad Riddell's pure striking credentials more than I respect Drew Dober's credentials, because was Drew Dober like the Muay Thai kickboxing world champion at a very low level that's like can't even tell your kids about. Like, just keep that to yourself. You can keep saying you did. It's like, no, I'm joking, but respectable, definitely not to low with Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell really was fighting the real deal name stars of kickboxing, winning some, losing some, but the real deal, like K1, Glory, etc., stars and standouts. He was fighting the true, standouts. Whereas, like I said, Drew Dober, you probably can't find none of all the people he fought in striking and kickboxing and Muay Thai have been black bars. That's pretty much, but don't quote me on that, but that's what I see it. That's just how I see it. So I do think Brad Riddell is a higher level striker, but as far as MMA, Drew Dober has definitely showed accomplished more. He's been around longer. He's accomplished more. Had more setbacks as well with those accomplishments, but it is what it is. Been looking. Was on the best streak of his life until he fought Islam Makhachev, and then Islam Makhachev made him look like he always looked, took him down and set him back again. But this is not a video about the setbacks of Drew Dober. What I think is going to be the case of what's going to make the biggest difference is actually not their striking. I think it's going to be what, to little surprise, MMA, who mixes up the best, and I think it's going to be Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell has actually shown me, has shown to me, I'm not saying he's teaching me anything, but as far as what I'm watching from his fights, has shown a pretty underrated wrestling ability, and I think he's probably one of the better wrestlers. I'm not saying maybe top 40-ish wrestlers in the division, low key, maybe 30, but low key. But like I said, the lightweight division got like 2,000 people in there, so it could be hard to estimate that. And then in pure wrestling, that's a different thing. But as far as mixing up in MMA, that's also a big factor, because it's not just pure wrestling. So a lot of guys can be good pure wrestlers, but not their wrestling don't transfer over that well to MMA. But I feel like Brad Riddell actually has some pretty good technique. He's pretty solid with it, pretty underrated. Good transitions, good chain wrestling, good scrambles, good wrestling defense. I think he's on a pretty high level, especially for MMA and how he mixes in there. So I feel like his wrestling could be a big factor in this one. I'm not gonna say he's gonna come out there and just wrestle Drew Dober, but if a fight, it does come out to the fact where it's a strong, like a real tight matchup on the striking, like it's like a 1 or 2 differential, or even 5 or even 10, depending on how power strikes are thrown in there, or depending what strikes are landed or considered significant, and this be a real tight matchup. Where you gonna lean to? You gonna lean to who has did the other thing? And Drew Dober barely mixes in wrestling, whereas I think in a lot of, literally like every single fight, Brad Riddell has mixed in a bit of wrestling in his fights, and a lot of them to a significant degree, to get a decision victory in these fights. So his wrestling, like I said, his wrestling is very underrated. I think that's going to be the deciding factors. I don't see him knocking Drew Dober out, which he has the ability to do. And so does Drew Dober has the ability to knock him out. But right now I'm predicting, well, this is my final prediction. I'm not going to change it up. I'm predicting a decision. I'm predicting a pretty close striking match, but I still see Brad Riddell out striking Drew Dober by a good clip. And I do see him scoring takedowns. And that's going to be the stamp or the deciding factor in a tight matchup. I don't see it being too tight, but I definitely do see the takedown being doing a good bit to lean the fight even more to Brad Riddell. In an MMA fight, it's about what you can do with the full arts, all of the arts, and I think that's Brad Riddell's going to be the one who does that. So in this one, I got Brad Riddell by decision.